listening to Turning Hard Times into Good Times with your host, Jay Taylor. If you have a question or comment about today's show, Jay would love to hear from you at 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. You can also send an email to questionsfortaylor@gmail.com. That's questions, the number 4, Taylor@gmail.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome to this special edition of Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I am your host, Jay Taylor, and I'm happy to have with me once again my friend and partner, Chen Lin. He is here on popular demand. My listeners wanted to hear what Chen's latest views are on a couple of energy and biotech stocks that he's talked about on this show before. So thanks for joining me again, Chen.
Thank you, Jay.
One of the stocks that you've talked about in the past is Canacol Energy Limited, trades in Toronto under the symbol CNE, and you can buy it in the United States, as I have, under the symbol CNNEF. See, it closed recently at around $2.60. 159.3 million shares outstanding gives it a market cap of around about 415 million. So what's the latest on Canacol, and do you see the current price as a good entry point, perhaps, for investors?
Yeah, I think last time it was trading at close to $2 Canadian. That's about a dollar, maybe $1.40 US. Around that rate. I was pounding on the table. I think I also mentioned on your show as well.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, and then on the rebound, it almost doubled to $4 Canadian. And I told my subscriber to have been trimming some, taking some profit. Mm-hmm. Now it fall back to about 3.4 Canadian, down 10-15%. I've been buying back my shares because we're getting very close to for the pipeline to flow. Okay, the flowing day is supposed to be yesterday. I mean, the March 31st.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so far we haven't heard anything yet. But usually the Columbia Gas Company, they're always late. So last time they were late by a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised there'll be a little bit delay as well. Mm-hmm. But they have been gradually ramping up, right? Originally from 20 million cubic feet to 30 to 40, all the way up. Mm-hmm. The final ramp up to 90. So they've been gradually increasing. So it's not like a one binary event, but it's gradually increasing. So I wouldn't be surprised. In a few weeks, will be to the spec of 90 million cubic feet. Mm. The company sent out invitation for analysts to tour their facility at the end of May. So from that, I feel the company must be extremely confident that the pipeline will be ready in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's say they hit the 90 million cubic feet level, Chen. What at current gas prices what might that mean in terms of cash flows to the company?
Yeah, by my calculations, based on previous company presentation, the 150 million MCF, and 150 million a year cash flow or EBITDA will come out from 80 million cubic feet. Okay, that's their average guidance for the year. If go to 90, will be about 165. Mm-hmm. The pipeline can very likely will flow about 100 because it's a gas shortage. Flow 100 MCF, maybe 110. The 110 will be close to $200 million US per year. Wow. So you can see they are trading at cash market cap to free cash flow only about 2 to 1. Mm-hmm. I mean, in this oil price, where most of the energy companies are not generating real cash flow, including the big one, the Dow, the Exxon, or the rest, but they are probably the most profitable, one of the most profitable energy company on earth. Mm-hmm. And it will start flowing in a few weeks. I'm pretty confident. Seems like they always been the case, a slightly delay, and then cash will come in. You can calculate that every day they have 500,000 net cash flow coming every day. Yeah. It's like a toll service, right? So I know these are long-term contract with utility company, so there's every year there's a term of price increase built in. So it's very, very fortunate situation for Canacol actually in this oil environment can generate significant cash flow, and then they can use the cash flow to pay down the debt, which is moderate, and also they can expansion. They can use that to buy maybe other bankrupt assets. Right, the recent purchase they bought from Batista's company bankrupt. That was almost a year and a half ago. That was a very good purchase. They almost bought it for nothing, for a few million, $10 million for
wow,
for that big concession. So it's just it's amazing. So and then there's other company bankrupt in Colombia. So we all know that. So they may take advantage of the situation.
And they've also been able to do a lot of their own exploration and find new deposits as well, right?
Yeah, they have a huge concession from the bankrupt OGX, so they can continue to drill that. So far, they drilled 2 wells. Both of the wells are extremely successful, so I won't be surprised they will continue to drill that to prove more resource. And then eventually, they're probably looking to double the production again, maybe in 2 years. So look at the sky will be a limit if if can be able to double the production again.
Well, it's really nice to be able to find companies that can earn good, solid cash flows in down markets like we're in now, and then, of course, be able to pick up other assets very cheaply as well. Another one in the energy sector that's been a favorite of yours for quite a while now, and that's Pan Orient, POE in Canada, and you can buy it down here, as I have, under the symbol POEFF, closed today at about US 75 cents. What's the latest on Pan Orient, Chen?
Yeah, they have a more insider purchase was reported. The company, Pan Orient is on the extreme spectrum versus Canacol. Canacol is a cash flow, and they have debt, but the cash flow will pay back the debt and then grow the company. Pan Orient is the opposite. They don't have any debt. They have about close, I would estimate, I haven't seen the latest financial report, but my estimate about 90 cents Canadian in cash. Right now it's trading around that price. So the company you're trading at cash. The rest of the property are free. Right? They have a new drilling opportunity coming already confirmed and carried by Talisman. Now it's part of Reposo, that's the Spanish big, one of the largest energy company there.
Yes.
They will carry them for the first 2 wells. They are targeting potentially one of the largest onshore conventional oil discovery in the world. So, and you can see from the 51-101 report, the net recoverable oil is about 120 something million barrel. Okay, that's onshore conventional discovery. If you put assuming the current price, even the current oil price, $10 per barrel, that's with the share divided by share, worth about $30 Canadian per share. The stock is trading less than $1 Canadian as of today. So you look at that, it's no downside. It's carried by Talisman Repulso. It's carried by the major. They own 49%, and it will drill in the fourth quarter. Right. In the meantime, they lay off their COO to cut costs, and they're selling other assets in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Canada. So if they do any deal, we will see another, 40, 50, like last time, 75 cents Canadian in dividend next year. Right? So for investors, it's really no losing. I mean, there's very little downside. And, so you just hold the stock for a year. Even in the worst case, they fail to find any oil in East Gabon, but it's carried by the partner, but this company probably still worth at least twice or if not 3 times the current market cap.
Wow, that's so very low risk and a lot of blue sky potentially if Talisman were to hit big on that deposit or that potential deposit, that
potential
target.
Oil,
That's oil, right?
That's why I'm very excited. I've been holding that for quite some time.
Yes,
so,
you have. Yes, you have, and they've paid a couple of big dividends out during that time too. So, I think, in fact, what was the first dividend, Chen? It was something like 75 cents.
75 cents Canadian. That's
it's
is 40 cents Canadian. So
exactly.
So it has been pretty very few companies and were able to maintain the dividend. I'm happy they were able to pay back, pay some of our investment back.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Well, those are two of your energy favorites, and I'd like to ask you before we let you go on your biotechs, a couple in particular that I've been watching very closely, thanks to you and your heavy lifting, your hard work, and the wonderful work that you do in passing along information to your subscribers. I should tell my listeners now that Chen is open. You can subscribe to his newsletter. Go to miningstocks.com, and sign up for Chen's letter. And, he does the hard work. You have to keep up with what he's doing, and you have to do your own research on top of that. But he provides a great starting point for you. And I just mentioned the ones we're talking about today are a few of his favorites, and ones that I have put in my own newsletter at Mining Stocks as well. But if you really want to keep on top of it, Chen Lin's letter, What is Chen Buying, What is Chen Selling, is really the way to do it. Chen, so let me ask you about a couple of your favorite biotechs. You have Sarepta, trades in the United States under SRPT. Wonderful story there. You've told it before about how they've got a drug that can help boys that have this horrible muscular dystrophy that ends their life when they're very young. And it's been a battle with the FDA in terms of getting approval. But they're going to have, the advisory board is going to come up with a meeting pretty soon. And if they were to be positive, this stock could really take off, right?
You are right. If it's positive, the stock can, right now $20 should at least double that. And I own stock, I own core options, as I discussed. I accumulate that when stock was almost half of the current price. Right now it's 20. I bought it from $10 to $13, as we discussed many times. So I've been trimming, so basically reduce my cost base to close to zero. So I can hold into the outcome, which is later this month. Mm-hmm. I might estimate, probably likely 70-80% chance of success, but you don't know. For investment, they always risk. The key is to de-risk. Mm-hmm. So I was able to very successfully de-risk this situation, and I'm holding almost free shares into the outcome.
Fabulous. Well, so you're saying that you think there's a 70 or 80% chance of success. That's long term, but in the meantime, I don't think you're assigning that kind of high probability to a favorable AdCom outlook necessarily this time, are you?
Oh yes, that's what I mean. 70-80% chance of success in this AdCom.
Wow. Okay.
In the market, right? When it first dropped to $10, $13, $13. I calculate the market only assumed like a 5 to 10% success, but I always believe it has more than 50% chance of success in the outcome. Mm-hmm. And it will come within a month. We'll see. I will be personally attending the outcome, so I want to witness the history. And working on that, I helping the patient. I help lobby my congressman.
Yes, you have. Uh-huh.
And I help with donation. I did a lot of things. I really hope they will get approval. I want to see a smile on these kids, poor kids' face.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so the AdCom, what is the date of that, Chen, specifically?
Oh, it's in my calendar. I think it's on the 25th of this month. Okay,
you're returning from Asia. You're going to be visiting and speaking at a couple of conferences over there in Asia, in Hong Kong and then Singapore. And it's, I think, upon your return, though, it's going to take place, and then you will go to Washington to attend the AdCom meeting. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm holding my breath. So it should be very, very, very interesting. Yeah, I hope I got it right, and I think we have a very good chance. But again, it's FDA. Things strange things can happen.
Yeah.
But basically, I reduced my cost base to almost zero, so I can hold my shares.
Yeah. So you can hold your shares without. Yeah, and you don't have to hold your breath quite as much that way as those of us who, yeah.
I
All
still
right.
have a very significant, right? I mean, at $10 to $13 was one of the largest side by side with Sorrento. Now stock doubled. I sold half. It's still one of the largest. So I still have a lot of stake.
You're talking Sarepta now? Chen, you're talking Sarepta?
Yeah, still Sarepta, right? Still
Yeah.
I have a lot of stake for Sarepta. Right?
You have a lot of shares of Sarepta, but
my cost base is very low. Yeah.
Very good. Well, excellent. Kudos to you. And, of course, people that have been subscribers to your letter, if they had followed what you were doing, could also be pretty much in the same place, I think. So one other one then in the biotech space that you really like and really sounds exciting to me as well, and I own it personally and have it in my newsletter, is Serenta Therapeutics, SRNE. What's the latest on that, Chen? I mean, it's selling at only about $4 or $5, $5.50 or something like that around there in these days.
Yeah. It's almost like 2 years ago. I bought it at the 5 1/4, and then so it has been a wild ride. They're still waiting. I'm still waiting for them. Hopefully, to get some major deal done with some major farmer because they have a lot of technology, but obviously they don't have the money to bring all the technology to into the product, into the approval. So they're working with major farmer to do certain deals or strategic investment or something, right? So to move it forward, that's pretty obvious. But for a small company has so many technology, so much in depth of technology, it's very hard to find. I talked to quite a few my friend of mine. They're just amazed at what they have. Okay.
Yeah.
They have more than a dozen way of success. They just need one to be successful. The stock can be 5-10-fold from now. So there's a lot of opportunity. I'm still in the waiting. I'm patiently waiting. I hope they will deliver soon.
Yeah, I mean, they have quite a portfolio of immunology drugs for targeting cancer, right?
Yes, they're mostly for cancer, but also some arthritis and some for different other disease. But mostly antibody is their key. Right? Antibody can do all the different things. One of the best-selling drugs in antibody, I think it's 10 billion, 10 billion a year, something by Johnson & Johnson. They have a better version of that, better. So they have all these. There are a lot of things that are way ahead of their competitor. Or they have a very little competition that they just need to bring that to the market. The market cap right now is a joke because they have $5.50. They have $3 cash, for God's sake. So the market really doesn't see anything. You see, the trading volume has been dropping lately. So now nobody really sees that. But underneath, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of technology. So when market wake up, the stock can have a huge run. Last time, remember, I bought at 5 1/4. It dropped to $3 and then went to $26. Right after their successful test and the investment in Patrick Sousson. So when they move, it can move very, very violently. So I'm very comfortably holding my shares.
Yeah, there's some. The billionaire investor, doctor, physician, so some deep pockets in this company as well. So it's really
he invested higher than current price, even 580, and then he has a standstill agreement expiring in 2 months. So after 2 months, he can buy the company. Right? He has been interested in acquiring share, buying the company for a while. We know that. So that's why I'm bullish. There's very little downside, and there's a lot of catalysts going on in the next few months.
What is his interest in the company now? What is his equity interest, Chen?
He owns about 19.9%.
Okay.
Around that.
Just under 20%.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has a lot to say about the company's direction as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, and also he owned the milestone payment is $1.2 billion, right? For that Silverlake, and then the market cap right now is like 200 something to 200. I mean, I don't know. Remember, 200 million something. So it's a number that's amazing. If you think that's 1.2 billion, it's coming, which he thinks, because he's doing all this testing with the Silver X, so that can worth a lot of money, even just to him, right?
Well, we're going to...
June 17th is the expiration date that he can free to buy the shares or to maybe buy the whole company.
Yeah, that's a possibility, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he can connect with some big pharma companies, they could really do some great things, I suppose, with his portfolio of antibody technologies they have.
Sorrento, if they connect to the big pharma, do a deal.
Right.
But that's very hard to speculate when.
When that could happen, yeah.
Yeah, I would think the management would try to run against the June 17 clock, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be taking over as much, even at $1 billion, even at $25. For them, for the management, I think it's a failure. They could consider how much time they put in, how much effort they put in. They were probably shooting for something much higher.
Yeah. So your thoughts are that they may be making a real effort to try to get some sort of a deal with a big pharma before that June 17th date.
I would think, that.
Yeah. You're speculating on that, of course.
Speculating, speculation. They must be working hard on that.
Yeah.
Whether they can get it before that, I do not know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, these are fascinating companies, Chen. You really do some very interesting work, and I know you work very hard digging into these companies. You learn to know the management in many cases, and are very, very actively involved. It's your own money, and that's the name of the newsletter. What is Chen buying? What is Chen selling? So, by definition, we all sort of tend to care most about our own possessions first, and then so I. Thank you very much for sharing your wisdom with our listeners again, Chen. And I hope you have a very prosperous and safe and fun trip to Asia.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that.
We'll look forward to talking to you upon your return. So thank you very much, Chen, and all the best. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.